Pinball? I like pinball. Not like I love it, but it's enjoyable. If a machine's open, I'll try it. If it's free. Yeah, I won't spend money on it. Why? Were you one of those that would stack the coins up on the machines to signify to others, I'm going to be here for a while. You're not touching my machine. You were? You did that? That seemed extreme. I mean, I don't love it so much that I would do that. Plus, it seemed insensitive. Like, I'm not sharing. That's like, don't touch my machine. You'd go to blows over it? Okay. I'll remember not to touch your pinball machine. Jeesh. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Code Coder. I'm Rob Fitzgerald, here to make you great and help you innovate. In this episode, we will help make your game unique. There are hundreds of games released on a regular basis across every single platform. This makes originality crucial for not only visibility in the App Store, but overall player engagement. In this episode, you'll learn how to make a game that's truly unique. We'll go beyond graphics and explore game characters and the way they interact. Watch and learn as we add a new gameplay element to Glitch to set our game apart enough to make it memorable and fun. You'll learn how to add a pinball style barrier. That's right. All right. Yep. And a new way to add a fun twist. We'll also show you how to easily create a taking damage animation in Buildbox. We already made the game unique with the amazing graphics, but it doesn't end there. We need to offer a gameplay element that sets our game apart and makes it memorable and fun. In the previous chapters, we used the creator to get us started on our journey. The templates are awesome. But we want to offer more than just a good starting point. It's going to be great. The pinball thing is great. You're going to love it. I believe programming is this generation's space race, meaning there's a lot of problems out there that society needs to be solved, and computers are trying to solve them, but they're creating huge amounts of data. Many of these problems are so big that only programming supercomputers can crunch the numbers and simply reduce the problem into understandable chunks. So we need more people to the point of attack. Today's Super Bowl Sunday, that's a football term, all right? More people to the point of attack stops the other team. We need the masses to take them on digitally. We need to teach them two things. One, how to problem solve, and two, how to program. I've taught thousands of students these very skills. First, learning how to identify the problem and solve it, then confidently and creatively use their programming skills to solve these problems digitally and uniquely. Buildbox is the first part of this equation. The head fake, that's to have students think that all they're doing is making video games, but as they do, they become better problem solvers. As they gain confidence in solving problems in Buildbox, watch them take on deeper concepts like coding, programming, and computer science. This episode is about being unique, so let's get going. All right, so I want to open up Buildbox to start. Okay, Command Space, BUI on a Mac. And I double click it and should open up our creator window. It's actually our welcome window. So I will double click on the tutorial we've been working on. And the first thing I want to do is add a new component to our world. And it's going to be that pinball style bumper. All right, so here I go. Let's see here. All right. So I'm going to go to the desktop, Command N for a new Finder window. You'll see right here there's a barrier. So I could take this barrier, okay, and just bring it into Buildbox, into the wheel, throw it in as an object. And if I go to Buildbox here, you'll see that there's my barrier. Now, before I do this, I wanted to make a new level, all right? So we should talk about that. So if I click on level 5 and hit D on the keyboard, it should make a new level, okay? And I want to put the barrier there. So I accidentally had put it on this one. So I'm going to now take it and put it on this one. So the barrier is now in my asset panel. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll that barrier over, put it right just about in the middle. Okay, something like that. Remember, we could always turn on our grid here so we could see where the middle might be. All right, so yeah, it's going to be somewhere 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere right there. Okay. All right. So I think the main thing to do first is to try to get this barrier set up before I'm going to duplicate. I want a couple of them in here, but before I duplicate, I want to get everything set. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to solo out this layer. So I'm going to go ahead and hit S on the keyboard. You see, I soloed that layer out. So when we test it, you're going to only see this scene going. Okay. So let's click on the barrier, and I could add a component to the barrier, which is damage, and I could add health. That's the first thing we're going to start talking about. So damage is how much damage I'm going to give off if you hit me, okay? And it gives off 1. I want to give off 0 because I want the character to hit me, not necessarily die or take damage, but I want the character to hit me. The health, I'm going to get hit by another character, so I want to make sure I don't go away. Okay, it's default set to 1, but I'm going to put it 999 so I will never die because I want this to stay in my world. All right, so that sets that up pretty nice, all right? Another thing we have to do, and I guess I could talk about this now, is we have to set this, in order for it to take damage, we have to set this particular one to be an enemy. Okay, so enemies take on damage. All right, so there it is. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do one more thing to it, however, but let's go into the character first. All right, so barrier, we have stuff like that. All right, now the character, I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to add another advanced move. And in this advanced move, so you already have some advanced moves. That's how the character goes back and forth, back and forth. So as you click on the scene, it moves it back. It moves it 120 or a negative 100 back the other way. All right, so we added another one and said, you know what? We have an advanced move. And what I want is the linear velocity when I hit those bumpers to go -2. And I want it to multiply. So if it was going 50 miles an hour one way, I know it's not miles per hour, but 50 pixels one way, and then it hits the bumpers and it's going to go -2 times that the other way, like 100. So it's kind of like pinball bumpers, you know, when you hit it, it's kind of speeds you back the other way. All right, and we're going to say on collision, and we're going to say I want the barrier is the asset I want affected here. Okay, so now I should be able to play that, and you should see that action actually happening right now. So let's try it. So here it goes. Let's make sure I make this smaller so you can see it. And I'm going to hit start. Here we go. So you already see that happening. All right, so it pushes me right back to, I'll go this side. See, -2 the other way, it bounces off. So it's really nice. But what would really be nice is, one, if I got this away from Paul so that he's not in the way. Paul, you're kind of in the way here. All right, so you could see these settings. So here it is, linear velocity -2, multiply, collision, and barrier. What it would be nice is if you hit it and it kind of made an animation like it was a pinball paddle or something. Okay, so let's try to do something like that. So if I go back into that barrier where we added, so it has a taking damage right here. So we're going to go back into this folder, and Buildbox gave us some graphics. See this? So it goes and bounces like a pinball machine. So we're going to go ahead and drag those into our taking damage area there. And now you should get some real action like it's bouncing off. Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to go ahead and play it. And let's refresh it like this and start. And then there it is. It's not quite, oh, there it goes. Okay, so you see that? There it is. There's the bumper. Okay, it's pretty nice. All right, it's pushing me back towards those mountains. Now there's one problem. These mountains default to 1 here. Okay, so what I have to do is I got to go back in and make them 999, so when I hit them they don't disappear, otherwise they would disappear. Okay, so that's pretty nice, and that's actually working. Now what we want to do is make, so we have that 1 done, and so now we could duplicate. I'm going to hit W on the keyboard, and I'm going to hold shift as I move this so it's straight up, and there you go, something like that. Now I keep them in the middle because Buildbox randomly selects these scenes to come back. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. So if you look right here, you can look at all your scenes and how they're going to play. If they're all equals, meaning if they all start at the same time, it's going to be a random selection by Buildbox. However, I could stagger them and make scene 1 play, and then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, if I did something like this. Okay, so if you want one scene playing after the other, one builds on another, you can move these around to where that will play 1 through 3, 1 through 6, but in order. I want them to be random, and if they are random, it ultimately could play scene 6 twice in a row. And if I had these sticks close, they could actually come up like something like this, you know, and that character could get stuck in between them or kick off weird and could disgruntle your player. So you want to make sure that they are kind of right there in the middle. All right, so let's go ahead and play that. See how that works. I'm actually gonna close this because I see it. It's off. You see it's not in the middle, but I think it's because I stretched it wrong. So I'm gonna try it again, and I'm gonna bring it down tight, and then I'm gonna start it. Yeah, it still feels like it's doing it wrong. Okay, so I feel like if I go like this, yeah, see, it's kind of not in the center. All right, there you go. All right, so I feel like that first one's there. I don't think that first one's even part of our game. I think that's one I originally put in. So let's do some troubleshooting here. If I go to start, yeah, there's one right there. Okay, I knew that one was a little weird. Okay, it was acting strange. All right, let's play it. So that troubleshooting piece right there is exactly what I want the kids to get good at, that they could troubleshoot their problems. A lot of them feel that they have trouble like that and they can't solve it, so they feel that their confidence is low and they go, I'm just not a good programmer because I can't figure that out. But that's all programmers start that way, and you got to keep investigating, keep running problems. It's not how good a programmer you are, it's how many problems you've seen. The more problems you've seen, the better programmer you are. So you have to see those problems and not get discouraged and exit before you get good at it. Okay, so we got to build confidence up with problem solving. All right, here we go. So now there's my bumpers, and it looks like I don't believe I think they have to be a little bit further apart. And I would think that you have to kind of get rid of some of these mountains because I think it's just going to be too difficult to get by all of them. All right, and so we'll do something like that. And now let's play it. So I'll retry. Here I go. That's my start. Now I go into 6. I could bounce off that thing, no problem. Bounce off that thing, and it makes for a better game. Now, I want to add a little bit more uniqueness. If you know me, I want to see if it could be a little bit crazier. Last time we learned about gravity, what if your barriers created gravity? Because this is kind of easy. Once you figure it out, you can hit an angle and you'll be fine, especially if you're a racquetball player, you know the angles. But what if the angles change? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So what if I go in here and I make my linear velocity on the x-axis change? Or should the y change? I think just the x. All right, so that means they come down at different spots. So I'll go from -10 to +10. And you could also change the angular velocity. So these things could be spinning. So let's go like what we did with the enemies and go 100. All right, something like that. And I'm not going to do it to the other one yet because I want to see if this is actually something that we could do. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to refresh it, and I'm going to start. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's one. It's just twisting. And it kind of, yeah, it's kind of good because then you hit it at a different angle and you can't really. So it might be something we do. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, you see how that's come down? I may not be able to get by it. So I would play with that a little bit. It might be fun. If you came and did the same thing with both of them. So let's, on this one, why don't we go 10 on the X and go 10 on the Y and a 50 and 100. All right. And this might be something you do in the advanced level. Okay, so I'm going to refresh that and retry it and see what that looks like. So here I go. I'm cruising. And there they are. They're kind of circling in a weird way. And it makes it really challenging to get through them and not get bounced back to those. Holy cow, where'd that guy come from? All right, so there it is. All right, glitch with a little bit of pinball style bumpers. All right, so that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it didn't. I hope it encouraged you to get a little bit more unique with your game, and I hope that you never stack quarters up on your pinball machine. So selfish. So selfish. What? Yes, Paul, they've already subscribed. And if they have questions, they can leave comments below or go to the website at www.themightycodecoder.com or find me on Twitter, Mighty Code Coder. See you next time.